So what's up, y'all? It's your boy DJ Killzown Jones, Big Killzone on your phone, and money still long, and the team is forever ever strong. Today we got another installment of Killzone interviews. I'm here with Juan, the owner and operator of Just Heroes Comics and Toys. How you doing, my brother?
What's up, brother?
So no, nothing much, man. I'm just glad that we able to sit down and do this interview and get us tour of the store. So how you been doing?
Man, taking one day at a time, my brother. One day at a time.
Okay. So before we get to how you open up the store, how did you get started in how did you get into comics? How did you get into superheroes, geek, nerd, blurred fandom? Like everybody got a story, everybody got a first time, like first comic, their first TV show. So lay it on us.
I think, well, the first comic book that I ever read was passed down to me from my uncles, who were heavy into comics. They was heavy into not just reading the comics, but they were heavy into the art of the comics. They would draw the comic book characters. But it was the Green Lantern and Green Arrow issue with Speedy getting hooked on drugs.
Oh yeah, that was a real one right there.
So that one I read that one, and that had me hooked, but even before that, watching the 66 Batman with my aunt, watching the George Reeves Superman, watching Christopher Reeve as Superman. I mean, those movies drew me into comic books. I loved the action figures, and actually I started collecting action figures more than comic books, but then reading the books, getting into them, seeing the art, I fell in love, and I started collecting comics from there on too. So
okay. So what time frame? You ain't got to give the age, okay, but what time frame was this?
Oh no, this was what? First time I read it was probably about 83, 84.
Okay, so you was in what was it?
I was
the Gilded Age.
Yeah, I was
out of the gold and silver.
Like fourth and fifth grade.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that was back when they was actually like starting to have those real conversations in the comics, because you had Speedy that was on drugs, you had Tony that was he was battling alcoholism.
Exactly.
So that was back when they was actually having some social commentary. Like now they have social commentary, but back then it was unheard of because people didn't talk about those things.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It was understood that okay, your uncle or your auntie or your brother, he might have a drinking problem, or he might so you came in a pivotal moment. So after that, from my understanding, you was in the military, correct?
No.
Okay.
I've never been in the military, but I know where you're going with that.
Okay.
We actually started the military discount.
Oh, okay.
When I had a couple of booths down at what used to be called the Manhattan Antique Mall.
Okay.
I had a couple of booths down there, and calling ourselves Just Heroes, I always wanted to do something to honor heroes.
Mm-hmm.
What better to do that than men and women who are risking their lives for our freedom every day?
Okay, so that's the meaning behind the name. Okay, because because I know you got a lot of people that's in the military in your family, so I didn't know exactly. And I don't, they talk, growing up, because I had military family members. It's not rude, but it's like, unless it's like a veteran and he got like some, you don't just ask people what they do and everything else, and a lot of that stuff could be classified. So you did it just to honor those men and women that were in your family, the community, as well as people who love the art form, and you kind of put it into the make of the store. So it started off as you had two booths. So how did you go from just having those two booths at the Manhattan Antique Mall to having this wonderful store? Like I have been to many comic book stores, many toy stores over my 31 years of life, but I have never been into a store like with this much inventory, the way it's laid out. You know, it reminds me of the toy stores and the comic book stores that I used to go to growing up. Like that's the edge, because there is a lot of big, huge chains and conglomerates, and people got specialty stores. But this right here, it brings me back to when I was a kid and would go to the comic book stores in Philadelphia, or the original fantasy shop that was down there off of Manchester. And you just don't get that feeling no more. Like all of them are big and open, and it's colorful and everything, but they don't give you that feeling of going to a mom and pop toy store. But this one really encapsulates that. It's like it's a time capsule, but it's still up to date and current, because we got The Witcher, we got Demon Slayer, we got Pokemon, we got Magic, we got the Power Rangers and stuff like that. And y'all see the products here. We got Spawn and X-Men and all of these Transformers down there. But when we take y'all around the store and everything, y'all will really see like what I'm talking about and feel what I'm talking about. And you just don't get that, especially in 2022. You really don't get that in a comics and toys and game shop.
Well, starting off, I mean, I have a love for the comics and I have a love for action figures. Even if it's something that I don't particularly collect, it's still neat to see. Like, I'm not big into Dragon Ball, but seeing the figures and watching it on TV or whatever, streaming it, it's a great cartoon. I mean, I'm just not big into it, but at the same time, I enjoy the look of the characters, what they can do, the backstories. I mean, it sucks you up. I mean, I grew up under Masters of the Universe, Transformers, Voltron, Thundercats, G.I. Joe, Marvel, DC. So when the anime started coming and the kids started digging it and getting into it, it was just like, okay, I get that, because I remember when I was younger and running home from school to see Transformers, to see G.I. Joe, Thundercats, Masters of the Universe. So I share that same passion to this day. I'm 45 years old and I still love it.
So, and I can tell that the way you got everything organized and the way you got everything laid out, like you do have an appreciation for the art form, and just coming up. A lot of things change in life, and it's good to see that the companies are starting to listen to the fans, and they bringing stuff for the new generation, but they also making sure they keep their core fan base, which is us, which is who got them there. And you got that very, very much represented in the store. And so that's what we want to see. And then the fact that it's black owned, like that, to me,
that's a huge thing.
It's a huge thing for me. And we're gonna get into that in the next segment. Make sure y'all go and follow Just Heroes on Facebook and Instagram. Instagram is Just Heroes 314, right?
Yes.
Okay. So y'all hold on. We'll be right back.
Big Killzown on your phone, and money still long, and the team is forever, ever strong. Peace.